Thank you one and all of this organization who has given me the chance or the opportunity to express myself in this webinar. So I'm Vijaya from Tara Government College. I'm an academician. I teach students. I be with the students. So today is my topic. I would like to share something on the threats to biodiversity. Okay, we all know what is biodiversity. It's nothing but it's an ecosystem and it's an area. It's a place where both flora and fauna live together. Both flora and fauna, the plants and the animals, they are interdependable. Like the flora, they undergo a process called photosynthesis, because of which they take the carbon dioxide, they release the oxygen, and they prepare their food. And that food and that oxygen is utilized by the fauna, and that fauna, it releases the carbon dioxide. So they are interrelated. So each one of us in society, we are interrelated, we are interdependent on each other. We are not single. So that message, this nature, it gives us to the humankind. It's such a beautiful message, but still we won't understand that. Because of our greed, because of the globalization, because of the urbanization, we are destroying so many things in the nature. Okay, now coming to the next slide, that is the threats. What are the threats? How the threats are come? The second slide, threats to biodiversity. Why the threats are there? What is the need? When the nature, when the Mother Earth is giving so much to us, why we are creating all those things? We have to pick ones. Though there are n number of organizations, the rules and the regulations, but still we are, the biodiversity is under threat. There's n number of reasons are there. I'm giving just few examples here, like the habitat loss, the pollution, the over-exploitation, the invasive species, and the climate change. What is in habitat loss? It's nothing but the plants and animals is becoming extinct. Why? Because of the globalization, because of the urbanization. We want to improve, we want to develop, we want to become civilized, but at the cost of the nature. Because of the overpopulation, because of the deforestations. Next slide, please. Because of the deforestation, because of the globalizations, the natural habitat is getting disturbed. Once the natural habitat, it gets disturbed, the flora and the fauna, which are existing there, which are living there, it gets disturbed. And that is related to an environmental loss. It has become a threat to the biodiversity. The main reason are the human beings. I feel, it's my opinion. So because of the habitat loss, the species diversity, the species are becoming extinct. There is a loss in species diversity, there is loss in genetic diversity, there is loss in ecosystem diversities. Because of the globalization. Yes, globalization should be there, but not at the cost of the loss of biodiversity or threat to the biodiversity. We are planting n number of trees. Like, for example, if you go to the roadsides, we see the n number of conocophas plants are being grown. But the result of the conocophas is the pollens which are releasing from the plants, it is disturbing the human health. That is, the respiratory problems is occurring because of this plants. So whatever we do, we have to think and we have to move ahead. I feel, that's my opinion. Now coming to the next one, that is the second threat, that is the pollution. Okay, because of the pollution, what is the pollution? It is different. Yeah, the next slide, please. Please share the next slide. Yeah, pollution. It's nothing but it is an interaction of harmful materials into the environment. Because of the pollutants, pollution is occurring. There are n number of pollutions, like we can say that air pollution is there, water pollution is there, soil pollution is there, radioactive pollution is there, noise pollution is there, n number. But I've taken a few here. So what is an air pollution? So because of the transportation, because of the vehicles, the movement of vehicles, because of the movement of the vehicles, they release the smoke, they release the gases, which has sulfur content, which has oxides of nitrogen, which have the carbon monoxide. The n number of gases present in those things, it is causing effect to the climate. Because of that, because of the pollutants present in this, the climate is getting disturbed. The temperature is increasing, and the rainfall, it has become less, or sometimes it's more or less. It's not normal. Because of the increase in the temperatures, yeah, the air pollution slide, because of the increase in the temperatures, the plants, they cannot survive properly. Either they have to get adapted to the atmosphere or to the temperatures, or they have to die. The species, they are becoming endangered, and then finally the extinction might come. So globalization, urbanization is a must, but not at the cost of the biodiversity or the planet Earth. Now, coming to the water pollution, we use water in our day-to-day life. It's a must. Without water, we can't live. For all the activities, water pollution, for all the activities, for our day-to-day life activities, we need water. Not only humans, the plants, they need water. Without water, the plants can't survive. Whether it's more or less, whether it's xerophytes or hydrophytes or the mesophytes, they require water for the life process. And that water should be in a good way. Not the polluted water, not the eutrophicated water. Because of the eutrophication, because of the pollutants present in the water, we can't use that water in our day-to-day life, neither the plants can survive. But some of the plants, like Iconia, they do live. But what we see, what we think is it useful for us? We think of ourselves first. The humankind, the human nature, is it useful to human beings or not? So when the water becomes polluted, the n number of problems will arise. The water bodies, the organisms which are living, the flora and the fauna, the algae which survive in the water, which live in the water, the hydrophytes which live in the water, the fishes which live in the water, they get disturbed. The food chain, it gets disturbed. And then the degradation starts, and the level of the ponds or the lakes, it starts decreasing, and that may lead to an environmental issues. So coming to the next pollution, that is the soil pollution. Next slide, please. The soil pollution. The soil is very important for the plants to grow. And on the plants surrounding where the flora is flourished, the fauna will be there. Because of the pollution in the soil, the plants can't grow. The plants cannot survive. Because of the high levels of the minerals present in the soil. Look, the batteries which have fallen, the chemicals released from these batteries, it gets mixed up in the soil. And that soil is not suitable for the growth of the plants. It is thus affecting the biodiversity. It is thus affecting the ecosystem, the terrestrial ecosystem, because the flora and fauna are interdependent on each other. Now, coming to the radioactive pollution, because of the nuclear explosions, because of the wars, because of the tests, the radioactive chemicals, which are very dangerous to the human beings, very dangerous to the mankind, but still show the power because of the human greed, to show the power. We are superpowers, but at the cost of the nature. So because of the radioactive pollution, the biodiversity is getting disturbed. And because of it, the temperature is increasing, the climate change is occurring, which is a threat. Now coming to the next slide, that is the overexploitation. Overexploitation. The maximum use of something, the maximum use, we have deforested. Overexploitation slide, please. We have deforested, we have cut down the plants. Because of the plants, the pollution will be reduced. The atmospheric oxygen, the carbon dioxide oxygen levels will be in a normal way. The flora and the fauna will be in a better way. Because of the deforestations, all the things is getting disturbed, and it is a threat to the biodiversity. So this is all because of the globalization and civilization. Yes, we have to go for that. But at the same time, we have to see that the nature is not getting disturbed, or the nature is getting protected. Yeah, coming to the next slide, that is the invasive species, the foreign species. The plants, animals, pathogens, and other organisms that are not native to an ecosystem, and which may cause economic or environmental harm or affect the human health. The plants, animals, fungi, and pathogens flourishing in an ecosystem in which they did not evolve, they can wreak havoc in these ecosystems by preying or competing with the native species. They compete with the native species, spreading the novel diseases. So one example is white pine blister rust. That's a fungal pathogen introduced in North America from Asia in the early 90s, and it has become a threat to the native of white pine. So because of this, the species extinction, the species may become endangered and then become extinct. The genetic diversity may get affected, the ecosystem diversity. There is a loss in species diversity, genetic diversity, ecosystem diversity. Yes, we have to try, we have to develop, we have to go for the new ones. But at the same time, we have to take care, we have to see that the old ones are not getting affected. We have to go, but not at the cost of the old ones. So coming to the fifth threat, that's a climate change. A change in the average conditions such as temperature and the rainfall in a region for a period of long time. The climate change is changing the ecosystem of this planet, mostly for the worse, combined with population bloom human encroachment of the forest, and irresponsible waste disposal. It is systematically destroying the biodiversity. Because of the climate change that is reducing the diversity, the species are becoming extinct. Because of the climate change, the habitats, the flora and the fauna, they are getting disturbed. So we have to take care. Once the biodiversity is getting disturbed, the ecosystem is, whether it's a terrestrial ecosystem or the water, the marine ecosystem, or whatever it may be, once the ecosystem, if it gets disturbed, means there is a disturbance in the biodiversity, there is a disturbance in the species diversity, genetic diversity, and naturally ecosystem diversity. Because of the climate change, the temperature is increased. Look in the slide, it shows because of the increase of the temperature, the greenery, where is the greenery? There's no greenery. It has become dried. The soil has become dried. No herbs, no shrubs, and the trees are lost. And no flora, no fauna. It's completely a deserted area. So rise in temperature, less rainfall, drought conditions, acidic rains, melting of glaciers, extreme weathers, rise in the sea levels. All these are, they are the signs of loss of biodiversity. This is a threat to the biodiversity. It's not that the organizations, the managements, the rules and the regulations, only they can do. But all these organization rules, and it's made by, it's human beings. We have to, each one plant one. And each plant has to take care. So we have to do, not the just rules and regulations, just framing, who will do? We have to do it. We have to take care of that. We have to take the responsibility. The smaller things only will become a big things. So it's my opinion. I'm expressing myself because it's a group of an elite, the elite group of the society. So each one of us, we have to try, we have to strive. Yeah, the rules and regulations, the managements, the organizations are there, but still it's an responsibility of an individual person to take care, to save the nature, to serve the Mother Earth, to serve the humanity. I'm very much thankful to the members of the Council of Green Revolution and the cells, and each and every person who are helped me in technically in showing my slides and all. And thank you one and all for listening to me. Thank you very much.